Good morning, Joseph. My name is Scott Forcino. I'm an associate broker with eXp Realty. I founded PlugIntro for people to meet who they should know. I'm in the New York City metro area, the city and its suburbs. I'm pleased today to have the opportunity to introduce Jospeh Gonzales within his own local business video interview series within his own platform. We want to hear today more about Jospeh, his offering, his specialties, how he works with consumers and agent referral partners, and more about how mortgages are handled in today's market. Good morning, Jospeh.
Hey, good morning. How you doing, Scott?
Yes, sir. So tell me, your information and what company you're with and what market you serve.
Okay, so my name is Jospeh Gonzales. I'm a mortgage loan originator with Certified Home Loans. I am currently licensed in Colorado and Florida, and I should be applying for Ohio and South Carolina next week.
Wow, that's fantastic. Serve a lot of markets and a lot of clients. Good.
Yep.
How long are you handling these transactions?
Oh, well, it's a history of how long I've been in the real estate business. Probably I became a realtor about 8 years ago. And then while I was one of my mortgage loan originators, we played poker every Wednesday night when I lived in Cooper City because we lived a mile away from each other. And at one night at poker table, he challenged me to take the mortgage test because he said it was super hard and harder than the realtor test.
Oh,
So I said, okay.
wow.
I studied 30 days and I passed it first time go, just like the realtor test. And I did my first mortgage and haven't looked back.
I think
So
that's
been doing
fantastic.
mortgage for
So,
about
you answered the challenge, and these real estate deals, especially sometimes getting a client's offer accepted, is a poker game. You got to have that poker face.
Yep. It is. It's definitely challenging these days.
That's great. Well, I'm going to hear more about that. I mean, I guess let me ask: is a big part of your business referral partners within the industry?
Yes. Most of my business is referrals. I don't buy leads or anything like that. So all my business is probably 100% referral from either past clients or realtors.
That's powerful. That's powerful. And I know those are referrals. I mean, one thing that PlugIntro focuses on is introductions, because it's really easy to introduce you to my contacts versus who may not need a mortgage, but might know people who over time do. And a referral is fantastic, but it's a little bit harder than an introduction. Have you engaged in any overall introductions within your market?
So normally what happens and what I request for realtors to do is give me a soft intro, maybe through an email. Send an email to me and your customer. So they know I'm going to call, they know I'm going to email them back. So normally I request the realtors to email me and the customer, and then I'll take it from there. I'll call the customer, get them pre-approved, send them the application, collect the paperwork and all that. But I always keep the realtor involved in the process because the way I look at it is if I keep the realtor involved on all emails and bring up your name a lot, it keeps them loyal to you, and they don't try to go off and try to find another realtor, or I try to find out if they have another realtor that they're trying to work with, because we do run into that sometimes. So I
Sure.
know a lot of realtors like for the loan officers just to take it and run, but I feel that if you keep the realtor active in the transaction of the pre-approval process, they'll stay true to the realtor.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned the L word, loyalty, because I mean, as consumers and as professionals, everyone has a choice who they want to work with. So if you don't provide a real compelling reason to work with you, and it sounds like you are, because you're keeping them in the loop and you're speaking highly of them and they're comfortable with your level of professional service, that's great. I know that the new web, they're calling it 3.0. It's based on community and trust. So in the scenario you just gave, the consumer's on their own, they're getting and sending emails. You're on your own, you're getting and sending emails. It sounds like a 3-part email chain, which is great for information. However, my 2 problems in my real estate business was I did not have enough people to speak to, and I did not have enough value. So one of the ways I really chose to address that is I formed a group such as this, which we're offering to lenders and agents and people around the country, where you would have a chance, in addition to keep them on an email chain, but invite them to a business platform where maybe either that client of yours is self-employed and they could promote their business, and even if they're not, they have W-2 paying jobs, they can find the resources they need, whether it's painters or financial planners or a DJ or a jeweler or any kind of dentist or accountant. So I think that's really impressive that you've embarked in this series where you can demonstrate your authority and offer that exposure to others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's powerful. So tell me, what do your clients look for now? I mean, how big are you involved with their offers getting accepted? And I know that's a real challenge.
So when I talk to customers about their offers, I always let them know, you don't have to go. What I find is if I call the listing agent, because a lot of people go over the asking, sometimes I hear stories 30,000, 50,000 plus over the offering. Um, Realistically, what I do for the agents and also for the borrowers is that when you make that offer, I ask the agents, include me in the email when you send that offer.
That's
And I
powerful.
will call the listing agent. So as soon as I see the email, I give it about a day, or whenever I see the listing agent give a email back saying, hey, I received your offer, I will call the listing agent and I will tell them that I have collected everything from the customer, paperwork, funds. I made sure they had all funds to close. Like I guarantee their pre-approval. And then I tell them I ran DU, it's approved, eligible, and all that good stuff. So I feel I've had a couple things happen through that. Not only did their offer get accepted, but I also gained referral partner because they're like, wow, I never had, you know, a lender or a loan originator call me to get, confirm their pre-approval. And so that's something not only because the old saying is the paper, the pre-approval is only as good as, not even good on paper. It's the loan originator because I call to confirm to make sure that it is great piece of paper I'm given and my signature on it to make sure that it's guaranteed.
I really appreciate that. As a buyer's agent, I would look for someone like yourself to stand up and help me as an advocate get that offer accepted. And as a listing agent, because it's so competitive today, I would think that would have your buyer client and your colleagues, their agent's client, really stand out. I mean, so let me ask you your experience. Do all listing agents welcome that call, or sometimes you have to get on the phone with them? How do they always receive you?
All of them are surprised, realistically. They're like, wow, I've never had someone call me. Or they never pick up their phone and I never hear from them. But, or I text them, email them. So I do 3 points of contact: call, text, email. Make sure they know I'm calling to confirm that that piece of paper is guaranteed. Because when I
Listen,
do
I
send
mean,
out pre-approval,
I love
it's
the word you
guaranteed.
use. I love that word guaranteed, because that should make, I bet it does make everyone comfortable, because that eliminates the risk.
Yep. I don't send out a pre-approval until I have all paperwork and all funds. I don't go by, oh, my mom's gonna give me $30,000 at the closing table. No, I need to
Oh,
see that $30,000.
sure. And isn't there something called seasoning with regard to those kind of funds?
Well, it depends. If it's a gift and it's coming from the mother, they just need to see the gift go from one bank account, the mother's bank account, to the borrower's bank account. Now, if it's 30,000 the same day they gift it, then yes, they're going to ask it. It's normally 60 days.
I see. So it's kind of as the closing approaches.
Yes. So
Well, we better hope
if they
mom,
see,
we better.
if the lender sees
Okay.
in the past 2 months that $30,000 was deposited into your account, they're going to want a letter of why it was deposited, and they're going to want to see a trailing paper. You can't just have 30,000 deposited in your account. That'll kill the deal
Sure.
instantly.
Well, we better hope that the client always calls their mom and is nice at the holidays, and right, brings them out Mother's Day for dinner,
Yeah, I
like I
tell
do
them
for
do
my
not
mom.
move any money. Most of the time, I tell them don't move any money until we get through the loan process and they pre-approve you. I mean, they approve you with conditions and they ask to see the money.
Sure, sure. So that's really got to be orchestrated the right way. And,
Yes.
no buying a boat. Don't buy a boat or some furniture. Open up
Yes.
3 credit cards, right? I've
Well,
heard that
yeah,
happen.
as long as you don't put it on your credit, it's okay.
I see. People
Yeah,
make
you
that
can buy a
mistake. I
boat.
mean, I had a closing that busted, and unfortunately, they don't tell their realtor or probably even you that they're doing this stuff. That they're getting a Home Depot card to do some work on the house.
So what happens is they pull the credit again 10 days before closing. So that's what catches people. And so the lender does it, not me, not you, and we have no knowledge of it. And the lender comes back and says, "Hey, they got new boat or new car on their credit report." That's what catches it.
Would that really kill a deal?
It depends. Is their DTI too high? That's mainly what will happen. If their DTI, say you're at 49.999, and then boom, they got the boat. Now it's 51%. Your deal's dead. So
Plus, I mean, I don't know about in your
unless it's
state,
FHA.
but based on well, yeah, but even though you say FHA, then the back end it's still hard to pay each month. Doesn't matter what the ratio is.
Yeah, it kind of is. Well, FHA you can go up to 57% DTI. Regular conventional loan you can go up to 50%. So
I
it's a
see.
little different there on the
So I
builder.
guess you just get skinny because you don't sound like you're eating that much.
Well, not just that. It's just something new, and then it's going to draw out. It's going to, even if they qualify, we got to have proof of the payment. We got to get documentation of the loan they got. It will draw out the process. You can still close the loan if they meet DTI requirements, but you're just going to have to collect more paperwork and
Well,
probably push out
if I was a
closing.
seller in that case, I'd be really angry because it holds up my move. I'm what made, most sellers are in contract to buy something else. And then this buyer kind of colors outside the lines and does something that no one expected. It could be a real problem.
It happens. What I notice now is that sellers are still nice. I have had a few. For instance, I had a $1.2 million condo in Miami Beach. It was a DCSR loan for an investor. The appraisal came back at $900,000, and so
Hmm.
that was $300,000 difference. It's a horrible experience because I don't think you know either the agents or the appraiser probably didn't know the market as much, but the seller was willing to go another 30 days to get another loan, go to another lender or get a new appraisal. But they canceled that contract and they moved on. And then I had another one. Um, the appraiser didn't get the appraisal in on time, and the seller was willing to extend the closing without any problems. So it depends on what type of seller. But I also have a friend that lives in Arizona, and in order for him to extend his purchase, he would have to put more money in escrow and make it non-refundable. So I think it depends on what type of seller. But I haven't experienced any mean sellers lately.
Well, as you say, it's a different market. There's greater buyer demand than others. That deal that you just described, I think, is fair because I believe in a more of an equitable transaction. So if you're looking for more time, I think it might have to be a greater incentive. But even I don't think that was purely a punishment or a greater incentive. Maybe that homeowner in Arizona felt like getting their mortgage paid that month and their taxes and their insurance. So it might have been, I'm guessing, someone something akin to their month's carrying costs.
I think
Just
I think
guessing.
it's I think it should be based on what happened, or what led to this. Is it whose fault? I'm not saying it's anybody's fault because we all had the faults, but the, the seller should take into consideration if the borrower has done everything they have done to get what needs to be done, but it's up, maybe an agent forgot something, maybe the loan officer forgot something, maybe the lender did something, or maybe, your that appraisal situation, you guys are trying to negotiate, trying to get a second appraisal or trying to get the appraisal accepted, corrected. So I think it's based on that, how the seller should handle it. That's just my personal
Not
a
with you. I
preference.
mean, it seems that we all know, even if there's no mistake, it just could have taken longer than expected because
It could have.
we're dealing with professionals that are so stressed out. A big thing in my market now is appraisers are working 7 days a week,
Yes, they
and
are.
I mean, they say, look, I have to sleep at night, and so I got to I got to end work at 7. So I mean, you can't say it's got to be done this week. So everyone has to understand that.
And it depends on what lender you're using, but I'm hearing down the line there's probably going to be more desktop appraisals
Oh, sure,
than
drive-bys.
yeah. So I think that's going to come once they get into, because we have a big lender, big wholesale lender that I think is leading the leaving the forefoot for that, and they're trying to come up with a better system for desktop appraisals, so we don't have to wait
Yeah, I believe that
6
because
weeks.
there's the algorithm is getting better and better, and the
Yep.
artificial intelligence, and it's much more nuanced. And people want that. If I was an appraiser, I would not want that because the minute that genie is out of the bottle, they're going to want expediency and care less about accuracy.
Maybe, maybe. I don't know. Some of
Right.
these, one lender is pretty high tech. I can pre-approve someone and get a loan estimate from the lender just by uploading all the paperwork, because they have such such great artificial intelligence. It can read the income from the pay stubs. It can read the bank statements. It can read everything from the paperwork I upload, and it will tell me if the lender will take the loan or not. So
That's
it's
fantastic. So
super.
that means for you, I mean, that's something that your contact should know and your agent referral partner should know. And I'm glad we're doing this video series because I got to be honest, I never heard of that.
Yeah.
So if you're demonstrating you're better than your competition and really you're safer, and at the very least, you could learn what your status is earlier in the process, almost immediately.
Yeah, I mean, the day I submit it to the lender, it'll be a TBD pre-approval from the lender.
Is
So it'll
TBD
be
to be
really nice.
determined?
Yeah,
Does that mean
it'd be to be determined address
I
based
see.
on the numbers that we got.
Interesting. So you could really be walking around the mortgage just needing a property.
You know what? I can lock in your rate while you're shopping. TBD lock in rate.
And I'll tell you, that's
So
very, very different in New York because we use contracts and it can be 45 or 60 days after contract to secure financing. And not much more than a pre-approval is expected at contract. So it's really, to me, a very light standard. It should change to something like the opportunity you're describing.
see, at a lot of times what happens is people send pre-approvals out, but they haven't collected all the paperwork, and they haven't seen all the numbers to make sure. And that's why pre-approvals, that's why people try to ask for DUs, which are against the law to send, because it has a
What does
lot.
DU stand for? What is,
Oh,
I don't know what
desktop underwriter.
just happen to write.
Yeah.
Okay, so that gives you the autonomy to really underwrite it on your desktop.
So yes, so when you press this, it's either Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. And when you press the button, it takes into everything you've put into the application, and it gives you an approve and eligible, which means the loan is credit worthy, and it would be eligible to sell to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac.
Hmm.
And so a lot of agents in Florida ask for DU, but technically it's against the law, and it breaks a lot of privacy. It's a lot of privacy violations to ask for me to send that to any agent. Now, if I send it to the borrower and the borrower does it, then that's their information, because it has their income, credit score, address. It just has a whole bunch of personal information that cannot be
Mhm.
sent. And so that's why a lot of people ask for it, because pre-approvals are, pre-approval letters aren't guaranteed like most people. But with this new system, that it's it's a big wholesale lender. It's one of the biggest in the world, and they have all this technology that makes it easier for me to put all the information in before I even I could have the loan almost completed by the time you go shopping for your house. It's
Do
amazing.
do you find a lot of buyers are willing and I guess put all their cards on the table and demonstrate their ability with their credit, income, assets, et cetera? Are they open to doing
Oh,
that?
oh yeah, because I do not send a pre-approval letter if you don't let me pull your credit and if you don't send me all your documentation.
That makes sense. But do the buyers, like you say, you can't, but they can choose to do so. Do they do
Yep.
that with their agent? I would think they would because if it's good information, why wouldn't you want to make yourself a better
For
candidate?
for the agent, normally when I get a customer, agents don't collect anything or don't tell them anything or because agents, they do the real estate and then I do the mortgages, so they share everything with me and then I let the agent know. And most of my agents that are referral partners know when I send a pre-approval, it's guaranteed to close.
It's very
Or
very powerful.
if it doesn't or if I feel that it won't close, I'll call the agent and say it won't work. But I have a program where I pull their credit and it tells me how they can improve their credit. So it comes with the program that we use when we pull credit and check everything. So I always find a way to make it work. If it's never going to work or if it's going to take 2 or 3 years to work, I let the agent know.
I see. Well, I got to tell you, I mean, I learned a lot on this call. I'm impressed. One or two of the things where you describe how you offer this information, which is of a sensitive nature, but the client can elect to do so to put their, as you say, best foot forward. In addition, your level of advocacy, where you voluntarily reach a listing agent so that your client has a better, stronger case, demonstrate they're a better candidate, and there's no risk to the seller. I mean, the seller needs that because they're almost always using these funds to buy something else.
Yep. Yeah, they are, and
It's powerful. Well,
I think it's just a great thing, communication between everyone.
yeah, and you can't be the reason why the chain is broken, because if that seller is buying something and there's another family waiting for a closing. I've been in transactions where if I'm representing the seller, the buyer doesn't give the money to the seller. The buyer gives the money to my seller's next seller. It
Yeah.
skips. I ask the seller, what do we need to bring the closing? And I tell their buyer, please make it to someone else's name. And they say, who's that? I say, well, that's our seller. We don't have time to put it in the bank and then send it out because it may be the morning and the afternoon closing. So they have to skip one of the parties. And that takes a level of finesse because people have never, I mean, they don't buy a house every week. So they have to be told
Yeah.
that this is the better approach. And it really is necessary because no one's waiting around for days to clear and send out again.
And I'm glad you said, yeah, it's true. People don't, I get many people that do not sell or buy a house or move into a house. A lot of people, first time home buyers. Normally, what I do for customers like that, because they don't understand the mortgage business or real estate business. So, normally, what I do is I do a video for the customer and I explain the fees and how much they'll need to close and what their interest rate is and what their monthly payment is. And I'll send it to them when I'm doing a pre-approval. Once I get them pre-approved and everything's good, I'll print out a fee sheet and I'll do a video because no one really remembers what you say in a meeting.
Oh,
So
sure.
I will drop them I will drop a video in my Dropbox and I'll email them a video of and with the
Mhm.
agent CC'd on what it would look like in the situation they told me about. They want a $350,000 house. Well, I'll show them everything, even taxes. Like if it's in Broward County, Florida, I will go to the Broward any county. I'll go to the property tax website and I'll find out what really their taxes are going to be because I'm not going to put $200 in Broward County because that's going to be uh, too short. That's too short. It's about $400 or $500 total there. So, and then I'll just break it down what your insurance will cost. If depending on if in Florida, if you have wind mitigation, 4-point inspection, hurricane windows, stuff like that, I'll explain all that to them, and also try to put that in there to get a insurance that'll cover the mortgage if something happens to your house. So
Yeah,
that's
listen,
what I
I'm
try
very
to do.
impressed. That's a very comprehensive approach. I like how you're giving your insight as to how you work. I appreciate that you are demonstrating that you are the best really person in your market to work with agents and consumers, because that's really all we have is consumers and your
Yeah.
referral partners. And because we're embarking in this video interview series and we'll be here for the duration, I know that agents and consumers and possibly other trades where it's your white collar, blue collar, your home inspectors, your insurance people will appreciate it. But even more, I think what you're doing is a great thing by giving others the chance to conduct these videos and be seen as an authority as well. So, Jospeh, thanks very much. Can you tell me or tell our audience how's the best way to reach you?
Best way to reach me is call me. I'm going to pick up my phone. If I don't pick up my phone, or I'm in a meeting or I'm talking to a customer, I will definitely text. So I guarantee I'll pick up my phone or at least text you. There's not a time I will not. I have my phone on me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, unless I'm in the air or I'm somewhere where I don't have reception.
I say, well, do you sleep, right? So maybe not then.
Sometimes I sleep. I probably get 5 hours sleep a day. So
All right. So those are
I
you're
try to.
you're 19 hours a day on mortgages.
I've had agents call me, I'm not joking, on a Saturday night at 1:30 in the morning, and I was up playing Call of Duty because I do play video games, and I picked up his phone call at 1:30, and we stayed on the phone talking about mortgages and other items until 3 o'clock in the morning. So
Did you think he's crazy, or did he think you're crazy?
I think we're both crazy, but he's a little bit more crazy than I am, I think.
I mean, at 1:30, he's probably trying to leave you a message, not expecting a response.
No, he calls me at night, like 11 o'clock, 12 sometimes, depending on what day. I mean, I don't mind because he's good to talk to. And when he's talking about real estate. So I can talk about real estate all day. So it
Well,
doesn't bother me
I'll
if
tell
I'm awake.
with
I'll
that
answer.
agent, I don't think you'll have any competition, because who's going to do that? Who's going to grab a conversation till 3 in the morning?
Yeah, I know. That's what I told him. I said, call me anytime. When I say call me anytime, I mean it. Call
You
me
mean
because,
anytime
yeah, anytime because I'll answer if I'm awake or, if I'm alive.
if you're alive. Good. If you're still with us.
Yeah,
So
you never
I think
know.
that's really, I mean, you're really showing a commitment to your clients and to the profession. And I'm really happy we can support you and any agent that sees or hears this, because Jospeh is going to invite as many agents as he can to meet them if he doesn't know them and to thank them for the work you've done together. You can be sure, I mean, now you've heard it, in 3 or 4 times, that he's here for your service. And thankfully, we've had the opportunity to professionally serve Jospeh and whatever agents there. We guarantee, I'm going to start using the word you use, the fact that we can maximize your local exposure and make you the go-to resource, and really for the purpose of having you meet who you should know.
Yeah.
So did you give the phone number? I don't know if you did.
Oh, no, phone number. My phone number is 754-201-6253.
Okay, so we appreciate that. Look forward to our next series. The next time we get our meeting, it'll have an audience in there, and look forward to participation and really a group collective benefit. Thank you, Jospeh, and have a great
Hey,
weekend.
thank you, Scott.
Take good care. Talk soon.
You too.